Hi guys, it's Beau here from the Results-Based Training Podcast. My name is Bowley. I have been running small group training facilities in and around South Manchester for around the last 12 years. In that time, I've worked with hundreds of local men and women in helping them chisel out time each week for themselves, for their health and fitness routine, making the gym part of something that they do moving forward so that they can reap all of the benefits and rewards. In today's episode, we have got one of my clients on from RBT. His name is Stephen Chester. I'm a massive fan of Stephen. He's took like a duck to water with what we do here. In his own words, prior to starting with results-based training, he was becoming a little bit sedentary. He'd started to put a little bit of weight on. He wasn't feeling great about himself. He'd had quite a shift in his personal life, quite a big change, had resulted in him ending up relocating back up north with us. And he talks about his journey with us, the results that he has achieved, how he's managed to impact some of his health measures with the doctors. So without further ado, let's welcome Stephen on. Stephen, welcome to the Results-Based Training Podcast. Thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
Pleasure to be here.
How are you getting on?
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Really enjoy the gym, the environment, the guys who train here, but also the instructors.
Yeah.
It's just a great environment all around.
So they need a pay rise, is that what you're saying?
They'll be looking for a pay rise.
After they've seen this episode, yeah. Hopefully not. Cool. Okay. So listen, I think whenever we do these podcasts, so I know certainly when I watch social media, YouTube, whatever, I always think, sometimes guilty of thinking, but what's this person's life like, right? Yeah. Have they got it a bit easier? Have they got a bit more time than me? They're a bit more naturally that way.
Yes. So
I think what's really nice at the start of the podcast is get a bit of context about yourself.
Right, okay.
What you do, what life looks like, sort of family, work. And give us an insight into you.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Go on,
so, okay, here goes. So, I had a change in personal circumstances 5 years ago. So It made a whole different shift for me by relocating from down on the south coast back up to home territory in the northwest. And that sort of led to an onset of a lifestyle that I wasn't happy with. Wasn't happy with my appearance, what I was doing as a person, and I suppose turned into the proverbial couch potato, really. And then with work, with me being office-based, sort of 5 days a week, sat behind a computer screen, pretty much inactive. And it was down to your social media post.
Was that the reason you reached out?
It just fitted me absolutely perfectly because it was targeted at men 40 plus, personal training 3 times a week, and I thought that's absolutely brilliant. And then there was that taster course when we first started off of 6 weeks, 18 sessions, and within the first session it's like, I'm signed up for this. This really does suit me and my lifestyle. And it's one of those where I said to one of the trainers, that this is something that I'm going to adopt now for
part of who
the
you
long
are.
term. It's just part of me now, and it's just, once you get into it and the guys and the trainers, it's just all of the support you get there, the benefits you get from training 3 times a week, the mental and physical well-being that you get from doing that sort of activity.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get a bit of context then. How old are you?
So I'm 64 next month.
Okay, superb. You look well, bro.
Thank you.
I have to say, you look well.
I'm hanging on to 63. I'm 63 at the moment.
Yeah, we can keep it, man. Don't worry. We can edit it out. It's fine. Okay. So down south, whereabouts down south were you?
So I was about 2-3 miles outside of Bournemouth, living in a small town called Christchurch.
Okay, right. But originally from this neck of the woods?
From Altrincham.
And I know this because you mentioned
Cosmos.
Yes, in your first few weeks. Okay. Yeah,
brilliant days.
Yeah, brilliant back in the day.
Teenage days, early 20s, didn't have a care in the world, just went
Right
training.
place, to go.
Absolutely ace it was, brilliant.
Sick, okay, cool. And you've got family? Son?
Yeah, I've got 2 sons who live close by.
They're local here?
Yeah, they're two local guys. And I've got a daughter who's down in drama school in Sidcup in Kent.
Oh, lovely. Okay,
yeah,
nice.
So
I remember when we first got together around your induction time, you mentioning to me that your son had done something similar in the realm of the gym.
He had.
Yeah, because he obviously came for the 6-week program, and you were mentioning that he'd done something similar. So, was he on board with you when you'd mentioned you were doing this, or was it something you were kind of keeping to yourself a little bit, or firing in? Was he up for you getting into the gym?
100% support. Yeah, the pair of them were. I've shared photographs that have been taken when we've been doing routines here from the personal PT trainers, and it's been brilliant. Really proud. Get on with it.
Yes, solid, cool. Because I met him at the barbecue.
You did, yes, you did. That's right.
Did he have his daughter with him?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, solid, cool. So they're behind you. They're into it. But let's get an idea of like the gym for you in general, then, because we talk about Cosmos back in the day. What's between sort of early Cosmos and then now, just before coming to us? What's been your way of keeping fit, strong, healthy? Anything at all in that time? Or
I went through a period of running, and it was getting in preparation for one of these British military fitness events, and that lasted for, well, the training for that was over a 6-month period, but I continued it, but then started finding that I was sliding off and dropping off and not doing as much running to the point where I actually did nothing at all. And apart from the occasional game of golf, once, twice a year, that's pretty much about it, really. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
But just coming here to RBT gives you that motivation. Even on days where you think, I'm not really looking forward to it, I'll dip out. When you get into it and you're doing the gym work, you think, I'm really pleased I went, and it's just that sort of routine of developing a routine, knowing all the other guys are going to be here. And it's just a great support group.
Yeah, you have took to a duck to water to it, I would say. I worked with you quite a little, in the beginning. I know I don't coach as much these days, but I saw you you absolutely smashed the gym, mate. It was like you'd never been out of it.
Well, just going back to those Cosmos days, I realised I was doing it all wrong.
I think you said that to me.
Even though we were doing it and taking out on Muscle and Fitness and Weeder magazines and following routines from bodybuilders, just coming in and having the expertise of you guys and actually having a structured training session 3 times a week through 3 different modules to get involved in. I thought, right, okay, I understand now.
So do you think, like, in terms of, because you mentioned it a bit now already then, so like the 3 times a week and the structure, is that do you think that's quite a big, advantage, sort of selling point as to why you got involved with us? Do you think it's nice to have it mapped out for you? And
Massively so. One of my weaknesses coming into this was the aerobic exercise.
Okay.
So the bike work, the skis, the rowing, and I found that a real challenge. And I was hanging out most sessions and gradually fight your demons, just deal with it, get stuck into them. And I've seen a noticeable improvement now in the 12 months that I've been coming to RBT. The physical side, so the weights, I've always enjoyed doing that. So a combination of the two is just like the perfect environment for me.
Yeah. The cardio side of things, do you think has that always naturally been a little bit tougher for you, would you say? Or
I've never done cardio to the level that we do it here. And it's developing that side of my fitness, which has been the main challenge. But when you see progress, that's the one that gives you that lift and thinking, right, okay, so I can see improvement here sort of week on week.
Yeah, eggs you on, yeah, cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay then, so a year, you just said you have almost been coming a year, right?
It is coming up for an anniversary very soon.
Sick, man, wicked. Yeah. Okay, bro. So talk to me then about how you, how did you feel 3-4 months before finding us compared with like 3 months into your new routine? Tell me the things that you notice: energy, sleep.
Yeah. Well, they always say the mirror never lies. So, you check yourself out in the mirror. I'm thinking, I'm not really enjoying what I'm seeing here.
Okay.
In terms of sleep patterns, not particularly great. Mental health was one of those things where, you've got to do something about it in terms of exercise and improving your overall appearance. And those were the first initial ones that gave me the motivation to sort of decide to do something about it. The timing, as I said earlier, about your social media post
just fell in well,
just absolutely perfect for me. The first conversation we had, you sent me a message saying, "Are you over 40?" And my reply to you was definitely. But and even then, I was apprehensive about coming into the gym in case of I'm going to make a fool of myself. But I didn't do. And straight afterwards, the following day, it was just like an overall lift of, right, I've done something positive for myself here. And I've just continued from then on in. And you'll remember from the first few weeks where I was getting frustrated at not seeing any sort of progress, regardless of the amount of effort that I was putting into training sessions. And you sat back and said, it's all right, it'll come. All of a sudden, you'll just see the ski slope and you'll start to go off a cliff. And that's what I've seen on the body scanner.
Yeah, the body scanner.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's that you see, and you can feel it within yourself, but when you actually see it recorded on a machine, is another just confirmation.
Yeah,
really.
so for anybody listening, then we have an in-body scanner.
Yes.
Medical grade piece of equipment. Lots of places have them these days. Good investment.
Yes.
We like it because it tracks different things for you.
Yes.
So as we get older, one of the things that we need to be aware of is muscle, right?
Yeah.
And muscle wastage.
Yes.
We now know, like the very latest research and studies on all this stuff, is that is a huge indicator as to how we're going to get on as we get older. You know, and it can come down into the basic format of like falling, tripping, injuring ourselves because those reflexes aren't there, the muscle, the power's not there, but also your ability to live a life that you want to live, right? Because obviously as we waste away and we become less able and we become more dependent on other people, that's obviously takes life away. So having all this data on the machine, you know, you just mentioned it there, it really eggs you on, right? It allows you to tracks body fat as well, just for the listener, and visceral fats, which we know are important for health. But how often do you get on the machine then? I
generally try and get on there on a monthly basis, and the improvement in weight reduction, where I've lost over a stone in weight, visceral body fat's reduced, muscle mass has increased. And another side for a decision just outside of the body sensor was a trip I made to the doctor. Yeah. And I'm at that age where they give you an annual checkup, and he tested my cholesterol. And he said, right, okay, he says, you're getting on the high side now, so I'm going to start putting you on statins. And I thought, well, I really don't want to do that. And that was another deciding factor in me coming to the gym. So I went for an annual checkup again last November, and without statins, I've reduced my cholesterol levels by 2 points. Wow. And I was really pleased, and it's only through coming here that's done that. Yeah. And then, of course, again, not wanting to go back on about my age, but I've got a big decision to make in the coming years. So when I start to decide to wind down a little bit, do less work, I'll have more free time on my hands, and I want to be fit enough to enjoy that, because we work a long time. Yeah, of course. And to be able to go into a period of, well, I don't have to worry about work too much, I can do stuff that I want to do, I want to be in shape and enjoy it. Yeah, I love it, get the quality of life out of it. I love your attitude, man. Yeah, really and the gym does that as well. All the guys who come to the gym have got a really positive attitude, as well as the trainers. So then what's interesting then, I think, is that, you know, because again, fair to say, your words, couch potato, you know, 4 or 5 years prior to coming to the gym. But then in a year, how significantly different, you know, even things like cholesterol, you know, they're amazing, right? Yeah. Because it would be comfortable for you to have got on the statins. A lot of people would do that. Yeah. And I'm not knocking that, because I know that sometimes you have to do that. But you've instead gone down a different path. So how significantly different does life feel in 12 months of really looking after yourself and gelling with the gym? I don't want it to sound like too much of a bigger statement, but I do feel like a different person. Do you? Just appearance-wise, overall physicality, comments I get from people who've not seen me for a while. Even my 2 lads, you know, they'll turn around. We've been away recently skiing and saying, "Oh, you know, you're looking okay. You're looking really good, Pop." And those sort of comments, and it's that new sort of person, really. It's like you get the opportunity to sort of try and recreate yourself, and you can do the best with what you've got, and that's what I've tried to do, really. Yeah. And would you say, like, in terms of, because you touched on mental health a little bit, you know, perhaps before, because I've always known you to be quite an upbeat guy. Like, I'm not going to lie. I feel like when you've walked in on that first day, I feel like we've had a similar. There's a definite spark and bond there. Yeah, defo. But has it? Did it feel like that? But before coming in, was it a bit tough? Would you say the gym's impacted it? The gym's definitely had a positive impact, and I think we can all. We don't talk about it. We don't know about it. And how can I describe it? So we have periods where, you know, you sit down in quiet moments and you sort of consider your life, where you are, where you'd want to be, who you want to be. And it was those sort of moments, really, that was, I suppose, mentally challenging a little bit in some respects.
Yeah, and the gym, mate. The gym is a solution. I think the gym is a solution for most problems.
Oh, it's a massive tonic. It's you know, you're going about, you can go down to your GP and get prescriptions. So this is the best medicine you can get coming down here.
100%, mate. Yeah, wicked. Okay. Okay then, so talk to me about what does success look like to you in terms of your health then? I like to gauge this question because everyone's different. Everyone's at a different point of their life. Like if you were to look back in a year and think, I'm absolutely ticking these boxes, what would that be?
Right, okay, so I'm still challenging myself to lose more weight.
Okay, body fat, yeah.
Yeah, body fat, reduce body fat, because I know from the body scanner that's still not, I'm not happy with that. It's not where I want to be.
Okay.
The other thing is, you know, lowering things like cholesterol levels. So if I can sort of maintain that and continue to drive it down, that's something else. Overall strength and physical appearance is something that I would like to see improve. And I know over a period of time that will happen, but again, it's just putting in those 3 sessions a week, all the hard work that goes with it, and I'll get the results and see the results at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. Do you feel like it's easy to be consistent with the gym?
I found it consistent, yeah. I mean, you'll have occasions where you can't make it for whatever reason. You might be on, I don't know, holidays, or there might be a family occasion. But in terms of getting down to the gym, providing you're strong and motivated enough, you'll do it. And like I said to you earlier, Beau, there's times where I thought you've been, you know, I've had a late night last night, or not a great day at work. I've got to go to the gym. I'm thinking, now I'm going to go down to the gym because those sort of circumstances will get it out of my system.
Yeah.
And I've come down here and thought, when you get back home, you're in decent food, and that's another thing that's improved in my nutrition and diet. It's like, I'm really pleased that I pushed out and did it today. It's been easy to just check out and say, can't be bothered.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think that's true. And that's credit where credit's due, right? Because it is easy to do that. So, and then on nutrition, because I think training will have absolutely impacted your test results at the doctors, but nutrition also. So what's been your kind of approach with that then, since, you know, working with us? What have you tried to lean in towards in terms of good habits, and, you know, what's the general idea?
Well, that's again another benefit from coming here, because up until starting here, you're not really aware of the consequences of what you're consuming on a daily basis as a habit, you know, of eating the same sort of foods. And it's only coming to the gym and understanding how proteins affect recovery, building muscle, cutting down on carbs, and just maintaining that sort of balance and focusing on proteins as is another element of helping me improve here at the gym and overall fitness and weight loss.
Yeah, excellent. And we're still enjoying ourselves, right? We're still having a social life and things like that. You know, we've been out and had a couple of we came to the barbecue, come to the curry night, right? So we've had a couple of socials, still managing to do all that alongside you. Yeah,
absolutely. I had a stag weekend in Chamonix just last weekend.
Nice, okay.
And there was a little bit of skiing and there was a little bit of alcohol. Yeah. But, you know, we did lots of walking, plenty of steps, burnt off loads of calories. And yeah, still having a social life as well. Yeah. Coming to the gym doesn't stop you from going out and exercising.
Not at all. I totally agree. Do you foresee it being part of your life moving forward, the gym?
Absolutely.
In one way or another?
Yeah, no, it will always be there now, because I built up a level of fitness. I love coming down to the gym, meeting the guys, meeting you, the Ez, Anthony and Ryan, all the trainers, all well qualified, all know the stuff, and also the other guys who come down and work out. We all work out together. Yeah.
I think it adds a good element, training in a group, right? And having those people there with you. Yeah. We've had a couple of podcasts already, and it's been mentioned a couple of times. We have like a bit of a no dickhead policy, you know, inverted commas, I guess, but they're all sound, right? They make a difference. I think encourage you, you know, push you when you kind of need it. I think as blokes, we do well in that environment, don't we? Like, it's not competitive, like, you know, ridiculous, but it's enough to get the best out of us, right?
Absolutely.
In those moments, yeah.
All the new starters as well. You get new guys coming in, and I'll sort of share a little bit of information about me and how long I've been coming. Yeah. And they'll find it, you know, they'll be saying, "Oh, it's hard work," and I say, "Just stick at it." once you push through the first few weeks, you'll see a massive improvement.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's like a brotherhood. It's great.
Yeah, and that is, it really is. I made a joke on the curry night that I'd only started the gym so I could actually have some friends, right? that was the only reason. Semi-true, man. I think as we get older, as we're busy, you meet people less, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
You have less of a network. I've obviously got a couple of mates, but they're all busy and you don't see them as much. So I think being able to come and have that common ground, let off a bit of steam, it's just good. I think we become better versions of ourselves for it.
Perfect. Yeah, no, it is. We're all very similar people, but different people, different personalities. We're all looking for the same sort of thing, but we do
that commonality, I think, is the gym, isn't it? That bit of self-improvement and feeling better, feeling more confident. Do you think the gym has made you a bit more confident? Being the shape that you've got yourself into?
I guess so.
Have you always kind of felt? Because you are a confident guy, anyway.
I'm confident, but I think appearance-wise, yes. I mean, I'm going for, buying new wardrobes and changing. It's that sort of thing that you notice as well.
Nice.
You said, what are the things that you've noticed? And it's like reducing your belt size down and putting new holes in your belts and going for shirts and think, hang on a moment, I was a 17 and a half neck, now I'm 16, and you're getting into slim fit shirts, and it's that sort of stuff that's good, yeah.
Yeah, love it, okay.
In fact, my two boys showed me a photograph, and it was only from 2 years ago.
Okay.
And this was last weekend, we were in Chamonix, and we were talking about the gym, and they said, look at that there, Pop, you're like a different person. And I had the beer belly, I'm not ashamed to say, I had a bit of a beer gut on me. Mm-hmm. Double chin, all of that's sort of gradually going away, disappearing with time.
Good on you, man. I love it. I love to hear it. What would you say to somebody that's watching or listening that hasn't been to the gym since they were young? Perhaps maybe did team sports, maybe went to the gym, a bit like yourself, right? Cosmos, comfortable, and for one reason or another, life took over. Family busy, and they're kind of not sure what to do, not sure how to get started. They see our advert, they're not quite there. What would you say to them? I'd
just say, if it's something that you start thinking about, just do it. Highly recommend it, 100%. Get in touch with Beau, come down, have the trial sessions, and you will never look back. I've not. It's been brilliant. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Stephen? Thanks, Beau. Thank you, mate. It's a journey. Pleasure. It's a journey that continues. It is, absolutely. I appreciate your time today, mate. Yeah, no, that was good. Massive thanks to Stephen for giving up his time to come in and talk to us on the Results-Based Training podcast today. I thank him dearly. If any of the things that we've discussed in today's podcast episode resonate with you and you think that you would just love some help and some guidance in this area of your life to see improvements, to put some time into you, we would absolutely love to help you. If you would like any information at all on how to reach out to us, get started or get in touch, you will find it in the description on the podcast episode. If you've liked what you've listened to today, please like, please share, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.